Last week, our Vegas Golden Knights went 4-0. This week, we ended up 2-1. Now, the Bug-Eye Guy can do some simple math, and that means we are 6-1 since acquiring Mark Stone at the trade deadline. I'm sure you guys want to know my thoughts on Malcolm Subban and his performance last night against the Calgary Flames, and trust me, we'll get to that later on in the episode. Vegas Golden Knights fans, please take a deep breath, relax, enjoy the power of positivity from your favorite and only VGK Bug-Eye Guy. We can't win every game. Fleury can't play every game. Welcome to episode 34 of Knights Nation Podcast.
Welcome to Knights Nation, an unofficial podcast discussing all things Vegas Golden Knights. A show designed for the fans, by a fan. Produced locally in Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the Fortress. Weekly episodes include segments Numbers Don't Lie, VGK Rewind, and What the Puck. And now, here's your host, the VGK Bug-Eye Guy.
What's going on, Vegas
Golden Knights fans?
That's right, the VGK Bug-Eye Guy is back. And welcome to episode 34 of Knights Nation Podcast. This week was kind of fun. We got to watch the Calgary Flames in our house, the Fortress. Then we headed on up to Western Canada for a little old Canada and Vancouver and British Columbia, and then over in Alberta to take on the Flames yet again. Now, I know, the last game of last week, we played Vancouver. Now we play Vancouver that game. Then we play Calgary, Vancouver, Calgary. Yes, we got a whole lot of Canucks and a whole lot of Flames. And I'm excited. This episode's going to be good. We got an awful lot of stuff to cover, a lot of stuff to talk about. Real quick, giveaway. I'm going to have a giveaway in this podcast for either a puck or a poster. The details will be towards the end of the podcast, which unfortunately, now if you want to enter the podcast contest giveaway, unfortunately, you got to listen a little bit further on to this episode. I'm going to do giveaways here or there. I'm going to put them sporadically in different spots of the podcast. And honestly, if you enjoy the Bug-Eye Guy and you enjoy this podcast because you're listening to it right now, you might as well just enjoy the whole thing. And then once you're done listening, enter the contest. So those details will be right towards the What the Puck segment or maybe at the end. Either way, be on the lookout for that. All right, let's dive right into the first segment. In the hopes of keeping this podcast relatively short, let's dive right into a little
Banged up Golden Knights. Give me the news, Doc. Is he gonna make it?
This week's injury report's pretty easy. William Carrier still banged up, still week to week. Eric Haula skating, but he's still on the IR. That's it. I've stated it in past episodes, and I'll state it right now. The shorter the injury report is, the better. So if the segment's only 30 seconds, that means we're healthy. That's a good thing. That's for this segment to be really, really fast, for allowing me to like ramble right now. This is a good thing. Now, recalled players. There was a recall from AHL Chicago Wolves. It happened right after the Vancouver game. And it was for Maxime Lagace. He was recalled on an emergency basis because rumor was Fleury was heading back to Vegas. Now, he wasn't injured. His wife's pregnant. They're expecting their first son. Kind of important. And there must have been a phone call because the team jumped in action, and then it ended up not panning out, and Fleury ended up backing up Subban against Calgary. A lot to talk about that specific decision, that specific matchup later on in the episode, but yeah. So, Maxime, as I'm recording this podcast right now on a Monday afternoon, Max got called up Saturday night, and he's already been sent back to the Chicago Wolves as I'm recording this right now. So, Maxime Lagace, welcome back. Never saw you. Enjoy the NHL paycheck, and see you. Go back to Chicago. All right. Next segment. Let's dive right into
Random news from around the league.
Welcome to Random News from Around the League. The Tampa Bay Lightning, arguably the best team in the NHL, has clinched a playoff spot. Teams are gearing up for the playoff run. Columbus, do you remember the Blue Jackets at the trade deadline? They made a bunch of questionable decisions. Picked up a lot of players that are rentals. No real guarantee that they're going to get anything in return at the end of the season. But Columbus is all in. and they struggled at first, but they're starting to gel. Could be important. San Jose Sharks have won 5 games in a row without Erik Karlsson 65, and now Evander Kane is out of the lineup. The surging St. Louis Blues, home of David Perron, Vladimir Tarasenko out about 10 days. Is that going to affect their chance of securing the 3rd spot in the Central Division or a wild card? Connor Hughes. Connor Hughes leaves the University of Michigan and sides with the Canucks. Do you know who Connor Hughes is? He was the 7th overall pick a few years ago by Vancouver, and his brother, Jack Hughes, is projected to be the number 1 overall pick at next year's NHL draft. The final stretch is going to be fun. For you hockey fans, or for you Vegas Golden Knights fans that aren't really into hockey or just starting to learn, this is a great time to be a hockey fan. The lead up to the NHL playoffs is unlike any other sport. You are going to see some of the best hockey in the next month. Teams fighting for a playoff spot. Teams fighting for positioning within the playoff bracket. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Is there a chance the Vegas Golden Knights can catch San Jose or Calgary? Realistically, probably not. Mathematically, sure, there's a chance. Is there a chance the Arizona Coyotes could catch us? That's absolutely a chance as well. We got to kind of keep an eye on the rearview mirror to see what the Coyotes are doing. Hopefully they lose to the Blackhawks as I'm recording this podcast. But yeah, we're in a good spot where we are. Are we going to get home ice advantage? Probably not. Are we going to have to play Calgary or San Jose in the first round? It's almost certain that one of those 2 teams will be our matchup. And then there's probably a good chance if we win in the first round, we'll have to play the other one in the second round. So get used to Calgary, get used to San Jose. I'm not sure the way the brackets are. I mean, I guess it kind of benefits us this year, but it's going to be tough. So if you enjoy hockey, go to NBC Sports, go to NHL Network. When the Vegas Golden Knights are not playing, this week's a perfect example. We have no game until Friday. It's Monday. Plenty of time to watch some hockey. And yeah, there's going to be some great hockey to watch. So if you're excited for the sport and you're learning and you want to watch other teams, do it. You can learn a lot from watching Washington or Columbus or Pittsburgh. I mean, I love the NHL. I love hockey as a sport. I know a lot of you new Vegas Golden Knights fans are just new to the sport. This is a great time to watch hockey. Great time to watch hockey. All right, I guess it's time to dive into the next segment. This is my favorite segment. This is the segment that's the longest, but this is where we get to talk about last week's matchup. So let's dive right into a little.
And now, VGK Rewind, a review and recap of last week's games.
All right, so the first game brings the Calgary Flames to the Fortress to take on our Vegas Golden Knights. Now, right off the bat, the Bug-Eye Guy in the Fortress, the atmosphere was playoffs. It felt like a playoff game. Everybody was loud. Sure, there was some knucklehead Calgary fans. In particular, in my row in section 217, just a few rows behind me, there was some pretty drunk and obnoxious Calgary fans that pretty much wouldn't shut up throughout the whole game. But the Bug-Eye Guy was too interested in watching what was going on the ice to really focus and pay attention. Now, my wife was getting pretty pissed off, but hey, it is what it is. So this game was crazy. This game was tough. This game was physical. This game was defensive. It was good. Marc Andre was being Marc Andre. Now they had David Rittich on the other side, who's been playing really good as of late. The problem with the Flames is they lost a couple games because of questionable goaltending. You know, they got Smith, who used to be with the Coyotes, and Rittich, who's been playing good, but as of late, they've kind of struggled, and it doesn't help when your offense isn't scoring goals. I mean, that's how Calgary has gotten to first place in the Pacific, is all they do is score goals. So whenever I'm talking about the Calgary Flames, you're going to hear the name Matthew Tkachuk. Now, Matthew Tkachuk is the kind of player that if he was on your team, you would love him. And if he's not on your team, you despise him. I don't think the Vegas Golden Knights really have a player like that. Sure, Ryan Reeves is a tough enforcer, but he's like the last of the old school tough enforcers. I mean, Tkachuk kind of plays just a little dirty, a little nasty. He's willing to go in there and take a couple jabs, and he might get punched for it. He might get jabbed, but there's a good chance you're going to retaliate against him, and then you're going to be the one that ends up getting the penalty. He's an agitator. I don't like him, but if he was on my team, I would like him. Either way, Tkachuk was playing a little dirty in front of the net, and he hit Marc Andre Fleury. Now, he wasn't pushed into Marc Andre Fleury. He hit Fleury. It caused Fleury to do this kind of spin, save, kick out, rebound, somersault kind of thing. And unfortunately, it went in the net. Now, this broke Marc Andre Fleury's shutout streak and his minutes of like 200-plus minutes of shutout. And it's like, man, really? Well, the Vegas Golden Knights, Coach Gallant decided to challenge the call, which was probably a good idea. But you guys know how I feel about goalie interference calls. You never know. This one, to me, seemed pretty obvious that he wasn't forced into Fleury and he did make contact with him. And Fleury just didn't have enough time to get reset. So this one, I could have seen it go our way. I could also see it go not our way because it's the NHL and it goes to Toronto and those guys in the headset are saying it's Vegas. You got to make it suspenseful, but you know what you're going to call. Well, it ended up going in our favor. And you know what? I got the audio. Take a quick listen right now what happened.
Anderson along wrist shot save. Fleury rebound. Score! Johnny Gaudreau. And Gerard Gallant will challenge it.
Certainly his interference. The question they'll probably try to determine is whether that was a battle. Nate Schmidt, did he push Tkachuk in or was Tkachuk clear to make contact on Fleury?
After video review, there is goaltender interference. There's no goal on the play.
So we finally got a call from Toronto, and don't worry, in just a little bit when I talk about another game this week, I'm going to talk about the opposite. But yeah, so we got the call, so the shutout streak was still going. The Vegas Golden Knights are playing good. I mean, this game, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, the fact that Tkachuk tried to fight Fleury and Colin Miller got involved and they start wrestling around. And then Tkachuk gets up and gets right in Fleury's face. And then Fleury heads out to the blue line because Rittich is at his blue line. And Fleury drops his stick, gets ready to put his blocker down like he's ready to throw down. Are we actually going to see Marc Andre Fleury in a fight? And then here's the kicker. Tkachuk started the whole thing. He ended up getting the extra penalty, which he deserved. He was pissed about it, but I'm like, dude, you deserved it. Ryan Reeves. I don't understand. Well, I do. I see how Calgary played it, and they will not be able to play it this way in a 7-game playoff series, but they kept Tkachuk away. Every time Ryan Reeves was on the ice, Tkachuk was off. They did not have Tkachuk out there at the same time because whether you love him or hate him, Ryan Reeves has a job to do, and his job is simple. His job is to protect the stars on the team. He's the enforcer. Marc Andre Fleury is a pretty big frickin' star for the Vegas Golden Knights. So if you start fucking with Flower, there's a good chance you're going to get a little Unleash Reeves on your ass. It's just going to happen. It's going to be one of those things where you do dumb shit, you say dumb shit, you get hit. It is what it is. And Tkachuk knows that. Tkachuk knows that eventually Reeves is going to get him. He knows it. But his coach was doing everything he could in this game to make sure that didn't happen in that game. And honestly, Vegas got 2 big goals from Shea Theodore and Derek Englund. Now, Derek Englund, dude, everyone loves Derek Englund. And sure, Derek Englund gets burned sometimes. But he's a solid dude. He's all about Las Vegas. He plays killer defense on the penalty kill. And you know what? Every once in a while, guys that play hard and do it the right way deserve to get a goal. Just so happened in this case, Derek Englund got the game-winning goal. Take a quick listen to Theodore and Englund's goals against the Flames.
And the rebound kicked right back into the middle. So Theodore scores! Shea Theodore rips it home. A power play goal. And it's 1-0 Vegas. Now Smith. Englund out high looking. Wrist shot, score! Derek Englund goes upstairs on Riddick. He ends a 36-game drought, and he gives Vegas the lead.
So this Vegas Golden Knights win gave us 5 in a row. 5 wins in a row with Mark Stone. And it's not a coincidence that the team started playing better when you get an all-star type player and he gels so quickly with his former enemy, now frenemy, Pacioretty and Stasny. That second line, if you guys haven't been watching, which I know you have, because if you listen to this, you watch all the Golden Knights games like the Guy. But yeah, I mean, that instant chemistry and the connections between those guys, the short passes, it's only going to get better, folks. They're all signed long-term. It's only going to get better with that line. That is awesome. and 5 wins in a row after beating the first-place Pacific Division Calgary Flames in our house. Now, after this game, the Vegas Golden Knights are 2-1 against Calgary this season. The 2 wins have been with Fleury. The one loss was that brutal loss 6-7-2 up in Calgary at the beginning. I guess it was sometime in November. So that was a tough matchup. That was a game that all the pundits, I love the pundits, but they were like, okay, Vegas is playing good since they got stoned. They've played some tough games, some adversity. Let's see what they can do against a real tough Pacific Division rival. And the Vegas Golden Knights came out 2-1. Not bad, right? No, I didn't think so either. Now, since there was a potential maybe goalie fight, not really, but there was a potential. And we got to hear what Marc Andre had to say following the 2-1 victory against the Flames, in which there may have been some animosity. Take a quick listen to what Fleury had to say.
One game, different ways also, right? We came back, we hold on the lead. This was an intense game, close all night long, right? And we played the right way, very consistent, and paid off at the end. So I think it's good for everybody's confidence. It's good for the standing, keep getting those points. And now we've got a few more here to go.
Is it too early to call this a statement win?
Yeah, I think there's just 2 points, and obviously it was a fun game, big challenge for us. Right? They're one of the better team in the league, and good to come up with the win, but nothing more though. I think tomorrow, enjoy tonight, and tomorrow I'll get back to work, and we'll see them in a few days again. So, Vancouver first, yeah.
How much fun is it? Derek does a lot of the dirty work, block shots, and he's the first guy to grab the chuck when that stuff starts. So how gratifying is to see him score?
Yeah, fun. Like you said, he does a lot of great things defensively and doesn't always show up on the score sheets and stuff like that, right? So very happy, for him to contribute and score the game-winning against his old team also, right? So it's really happy to win this one.
The chuck is his part of his game is to try and knock you off yours, and how do you make sure that doesn't happen?
It's fine. It's just part of the game. I've seen a lot of guys like him in my career, and it's fine. I thought it was it's an intense game all around, right? And we played great, and it's all that matters.
Now, if you're not a Marc Andre Fleury fan, then shame on you, because he's a solid dude, hell of a hockey player, and a good guy. And he likes to have a little bit of fun. He's a prankster, and dude, come on. All right, so after this tough victory against the Calgary Flames, the Vegas Golden Knights get on an airplane, and they head on north, across the northern border, into Canada to take on the Vancouver Canucks. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the map, there's Seattle and Washington, and just a little bit further north, there's this country called Canada, British Columbia. The Vancouver Canucks are there. Now, I've been to Vancouver. It's a beautiful city. It's an expensive city. Here's the problem. When you get to the airport, there's no real easy way to get downtown. They don't have any freeways. It's like the train or roads, like surface roads. But anyways, our Vegas Golden Knights just beat the Vancouver Canucks in our house. So we just played the Calgary Flames, but the team before that was the Vancouver Canucks. So now we go up to their house, and, it's always tougher to play on the road. You got the road fans. So the Vegas Golden Knights had to be real careful in this game. Now, right off the bat, I thought this was the game for Malcolm Subban. No, that's tomorrow's game, the next game we're going to talk about. But so no Subban, Flowers in that. I'm thinking, cool, man. Flowers going against these guys, they're going to get smoked. Well, the Vegas Golden Knights came out pretty strong. I mean, they played a reasonably energetic, exciting. Dude, they just whooped ass in the first period against the Vancouver Canucks, man. It was like, you, sir, can have a goal. No, by all means, you, sir, have a goal. No, you have a goal. Hell, the third line, you get a goal, you get a goal, you get a goal. Let's see here. Nosek, welcome back in the lineup. You get a goal, sir. Cody freaking Eakin, hashtag Eakin face, you get a goal. And what about Tuck, yeah? Tuck, yeah, you missed an open one, but you fought hard, and guess what? Tuck got a goal thanks to my boy John Merrill, hashtag Team Merrill 2019. John Merrill makes a nice shot. It goes right off the head, face shield, helmet of Tuck, boom, right into the net. Boom. 3 goals for the third line. Ended up getting 5 goals. 5 goals in the first period, folks. Now, as much as I'm talking about the 3 goals from the third line, newsflash, Mr. Mark Stone, the Vegas Golden Knight that just signed a fat contract, $9.5 million a year, 8-year contract. Yeah, that Mark Stone. The same Stone Age Mark Stone. The same Mark Stone that people on social media, why'd we sign this guy? He hasn't even scored a goal yet. He's not even getting, who's this guy? Idiots. Yes, Mark Stone officially scored his first goal with the Vegas Golden Knight jersey on, and it was freaking awesome. You know who else scored? His linemate Paul Stastny, who's been kind of like a scoring machine of late. Between the beautiful passes and the touches behind the net, I'm telling you, the second line is money. So now in this game against the Canucks, we got the second line with 2 goals. We got the third line with 3 goals. And the Vegas Golden Knights end up beating the ass of the Vancouver Canucks. Final score was 6-2. Nate Schmidt ended up getting a goal. And this game was money. Now, I felt bad that Jacob Markstrom got chased in the first. His defense wasn't really helping, and some of them were just nice shots. I mean, you got to give a shooter credit when a shooter makes a beautiful shot. And Markstrom got chased. Here is all 6 goals that the Vegas Golden Knights scored against the Vancouver Canucks.
Deep in his own end. Since then, the Canucks had a big overtime win here, a comeback win against Toronto Wednesday night. Stastny down to Pacioretty, trying to feed Stone, batted away. Stastny again hit the post, and Stone scores on the rebound. Mark Stone backhands it in for his first as a member of the Golden Knights. He's been better since getting back into the Golden Knights lineup. Merrill's wrist shot turned away, and 2 saves down low by Markstrom. He stopped Tuck on the rebound, and now score! And went in off the body of Tuck as Merrill threw it towards the net. And Alex Tuck has the Golden Knights out to a 2-0 lead in Vancouver. Over the other way, Edler through center. Kicked back by McNabb to Tuck. Into the offensive end, rolled away from him. He's able to get it back and filter to Nosek. Nosek jams it out in front. Eakin batting away, score! That pinball by Markstrom. Nosek was in front, so was Eakin. It's 3-0 Golden Knights. Merrill feeding it down. Eakin looking, rotates it to Tuck. He'll wheel it back to Colin Miller. Trying to find some space. Rishon tip score! Tomas Nosek on the doorstep. And the Golden Knights restore the 3-goal lead. Trying to curl into the middle. And now Colin Miller back to get it. Back up the ice is Stastny. Looking, cuts to the middle, still has it, and he scores! Paul Stastny joins the scoring parade. It's a 5-goal first period for the Golden Knights. Viega with the assist on Horvat's 24th goal of the season. Here's Marchessault, laying it back to Schmidt, wide open, wrist shot, score! That got deflected on the way to the net. And the Golden Knights strike right back as Nate Schmidt let it fly. It's 6-2.
Now, Vancouver is a young, talented team, and 2 of their youngsters, Brock Besser and Bo Horvat, both scored on us. Got goals past Marc Andre Fleury. They are a good up-and-coming team, and I think in the future they're going to be, Elias Pettersson was held off the score sheet, but that's another really, really good young player, so... Either way, the Vegas Golden Knights, 6-2. Mark Stone got his first goal. Schmitty, this was an awesome, awesome game. Another cool thing about this game was the fact that Marc Andre Fleury broke Jacques Pallant's record for 8th all-time in the wins list in the NHL, sitting at 438 wins. Take a quick listen to talking about Flowers' achievement.
Well, the Golden Knights have now won 6 straight. It's their second longest winning streak of the season. They've outscored their opponents 24-9 in the run, and Marc Andre Fleury all alone 8th place on the all-time wins list, number 438 tonight.
Well, they continue to roll along. Another dominant performance for the Golden Knights over the Canucks. Huge victory. They 6 in a row. Mark Stone gets his first goal as a Golden Knight as he opened up the scoring tonight to lead them to a 6-2 victory.
It's always good when someone gets recognition. And I know Fleury wasn't, drafted by the Golden Knights, but you know what? He's our star. He's our Vegas Golden Knights. He is the Vegas Golden Knights, and kudos to him on this career accomplishment. All right, before I move on to last night's Calgary Flames game, let's hear from Coach Gallant, what he had to say. I used to always get Gallant's interviews, and sometimes, I really enjoy him, and sometimes I'm like, well, if I got to cut something out to shorten the podcast a little bit, maybe I'll just cut Coach Turk. But the last few episodes, I've kind of not had any Coach Turk, and that's kind of messed up in the Bug-Eye Guy's eyes, so I apologize, Coach Turk. And you know what? You're going to get a little love. So here's what Coach Turk had to say following the 6-2 victory, 6th win in a row for his Vegas Golden Knights. Take a listen.
Between periods, we got those goals early in the hockey game, and obviously played real well in the first and got that lead. But there's still a lot of hockey left to go, and I thought our guys played real hard the rest of the game.
The Schmidt goal, to make it 6-2, and Mark Stone said it was the biggest goal of the game.
I really think it was because, like I said, they made a 5-2 there, and then a shift or two after that, Smitty scored that goal. So it was a huge goal for us. And at the end of it, we played solid hockey and didn't give them a whole lot of chances, but they did hit about 3 goalposts too.
You sort of talked a little while ago about how, trying to to catch the other teams in the Pacific. You get a chance if you beat Calgary tomorrow to be just six back of them.
I'm not adding up the points, Gary, like you are, but no, we're getting ready to play a big game tomorrow. Obviously, a big game. It's a huge hockey game, but we're worried about playing well and getting in 2 points, and we're not worried about trying to catch somebody. We're just worried about the points.
We speak about Marc Andre Fleury consistently, night in and night out, but for him to take over from Jacques Plante and be named, 8th in the all-time wins list, it's such a huge accomplishment. You just have to give us your thoughts.
It's awesome because, Jacques Plante's obviously the legend he is in the Hall of Famer, and for Marc to, get that win tonight is huge for him, and he just keeps going. He keeps rolling for us and playing real well, and gives us a chance to win every night.
All right, so the Vegas Golden Knights beat the Vancouver Canucks. They pack up all their stuff. They head on over to the airport. They get on an airplane. They take a quick flight over to Alberta, Calgary, get some rest. I don't know what time they get to the hotel, probably early morning. They finally get some rest, and oh, surprise, surprise, daylight savings. So the time flips. Cool. So now the Vegas Golden Knights, their time's all screwed up. They had to play last night, which is no big deal. I mean, it is what it is. They had to fly. They had to sleep. They wake up. Now it's time to take on the Calgary Flames. Now, folks, there's been a lot of drama about last night's game. You knew hockey fans really, really suck because you really make people like me that normally want to interact with other fans and talk Golden Knights want to not pick up my phone. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, good Lord. Everybody bashing Malcolm Subban. Malcolm Subban, oh my God, Subban's terrible. Oh my God, Subban this. Oh my God, Coach Gallant, what's he thinking? Oh my God, Coach is an idiot. Why would he play Subban against the Flames? Look, guys, Fleury's played more games than any other goalie in the NHL this year. The Vegas Golden Knights have less than a month in the regular season. Fleury needs some rest. Don't worry, folks. Fleury's going to play every playoff game that he's healthy. But it's the regular season, and realistically, are we really going to catch the San Jose Sharks or the Calgary Flames? Probably not. Are the Arizona Coyotes realistically going to catch the Vegas Golden Knights? Probably not. So if you have the back-to-back, and we have a couple of them coming up, Vegas Golden Knights fans, you play your starter one game, you play your backup the other game. Maybe Coach Turk was thinking, hey, Subs, you want rematch up here in Calgary? They shellacked you the last game. Maybe we'll get you a win. Maybe that was the thought process. Maybe it had to do with the fact that Marc Andre Fleury's wife's expecting a baby at any time. My what the puck portion of this podcast, I'm going to talk about a specific comment, and he kind of mentions the whole Fleury baby thing. And for me, as a father, dude, this is just a game. So if you can play one game and then fly down to see the birth of your first ever son, dude, I'm all about that. It's just a game. Now, if it was a playoff game, he would expect to play, but it's just a game. So Subban played. Okay, fine. The last few games, Subban's been playing pretty good. He's been getting some offensive help. He's been making some really, really good saves, and that's what I like about Subban and hate about Subban. Subban makes, and he made one specifically in this game, incredible saves. Incredible saves. Grade A, high-caliber NHL saves. And then, like the second goal of this game, he lets in some shit from the blue line. And, you know, Shane and Dave were trying to cover for him on the broadcast, saying, oh, Englund might have been in the way, or Englund might have tipped it a little bit. No, that's shit. I watched it over, dude. That was a shot from the blue line that Subban freaking missed. He completely missed it, and it went in low blocker side from the blue line, which is garbage. That is known as a garbage goal. Now, if I were to say, go on Twitter and say, Subban, I love you, but that was a garbage goal, that's a true statement. Now, people would attack me and blast me and be like, oh, bugger guy, there you go again, picking on our Vegas Golden Knights and saying negativity. No, I told you at the beginning of the podcast, I'm the power positivity, folks. I would normally be really upset that we lost last night. Honestly, I'm not that upset because I kind of knew what happened. We were a little tired. We made a couple bonehead defensive plays, got a couple lucky bounces or bad bounces, I guess you would say. When you take a shot and it hits the guy and it reflects down, you got a 2-on-1. You guys know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, whatever. Sometimes when you're watching a game, you get that feeling. You're like, I don't have a good feeling of how this game's going to go. Well, that's how I felt in the first period. I mean, we were down 3-1. And of course, you know, you go into intermission and you're thinking, all we got to do is get one goal. You get that one goal and you're right back in the game. Well, minute and a half into the second period, we didn't get one goal. We got 2 goals. And right up, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. The Vegas Golden Knights, man, we got this. We're in there. Subban let in some bullshit in the first, but now we're going to lock down our defense. It's a new game. It's 3-3. We're moving forward. And we played really good for like 15 minutes of the second period. Then it happened. You know how I was talking about the last time we played Calgary and there was a goaltender interference call? Well, right at the end of the second period, guess who? Tkachuk. Duh. Another play in front of the net. Now this one, he was outside the paint. Subban was in the blue paint. Depending how you watch it or how you listen to it, it could have gone either way. The issue was Subban was trying to get his left hand up with his glove to get it, and his glove was restricted by Tkachuk. Take a quick listen to the audio from what happened on the ice at the end of the second period.
In half, swings it down the Stone. Zarnik around to Anderson. Shot! And it's deflected. Score! Backlund was in front. Subban's arguing goaltender interference as Backlund redirected it in the crease.
Here's Subban. He's getting ready for the save. Looks like he's moving his glove for that shot, and Backlund makes contact with it.
Review the call, yes, we have a good goal.
So, of course, the conspiracy theorists, the officials go over there, they put the headset on, they talk to Toronto, and Toronto's going, hey, so we gave them one in their house against the Flames, so now that the Flames are the home team, let's go ahead and side on the Calgary side. They called it a good goal. You could see it visibly pissed off Malcolm Subban. And as soon as the period was over, he beelined right to the official because I think he wanted to go, hey, like, what was the deal? And I'm sure he wasn't being the nicest. He's a little pissed off that the refs kind of just fucked him over, and now they're losing 4-3 in a real tough game. But then Subban must have said something, probably like, ref, you're fucking bitch, or you suck, or you're blind, or something. And he kind of forced his head towards him like a little head fake, like, make you flinch, ref, you suck. And he got a 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct. Now, fast forward into the third period, the Vegas Golden Knights killed off that penalty. So I guess in hindsight, it was 2 minutes well worth it. No, those are the kind of plays that you're sometimes going to get from a backup goalie. Now, Subban doesn't play all the time. His emotions are run high. He feels like he got cheated a little bit, and he might have overstepped a little bit. He broke the rules. He got a 2-minute penalty. The team was able to kill it off. But those are like stupid decisions. Like you shouldn't probably do that. But honestly, everybody listening right now, if you were in Subban's shoes, you'd probably be the same way. Like, dude, ref, let me talk to you for a minute, man. That was a bullshit call, and I'm tired of you guys always screwing over my team, and am I going to get a little bit of love? Like, what the hell's going on? And then the ref says, no, you need to get away right now. You cannot talk to me because I am an official, and I have a pretty jersey with stripes like zebras, and I got this orange reflector thing so people don't actually shoot me. And you, Mr. Subban, you need to skate off the ice. Otherwise, I'm going to blow my whistle. That's probably what happened, right? Whatever. The bottom line is the Vegas Golden Knights were only down 1 in the third period. This was a tough game. But Calgary went in lockdown mode. They went to playing defense and just kind of passing the puck around, and nothing really happened. Well, except for the Vegas Golden Knights getting burned on odd man rushes. That has to stop. I know the team was down, so they were pushing a little bit more, but the 2-on-1s against a team like Calgary or a team like Edmonton that's coming in to our house at the end of next week, you can't do that. If you give 2-on-1s with those teams, with those high-skill forwards and the fast pace, they're going to get it past your goalie. So that's one thing I'm sure during this 5-day, let's see, we played Sunday, we don't play again until Friday, so this 4.5-day hiatus, I'm sure Turk will give the players some time off. I'm sure they'll be working on some stuff at practice. I'm sure the chemistry will get even better for the second line. The defense can work on some things. I'm not really super worried. You guys shouldn't be either. Because I know we lost the game 6-3, and I know on the score sheet that looks bad. I mean, the last one was an empty netter. And, 3 of the goals were 2-on-1, odd man rushes. One of them was from the blue line. So those are a couple bonehead decisions or bonehead mistakes that ended up costing us. And it's only one game. Do you think we're going to make those same bonehead decisions the next game when we're rested and healthy? No, we might, but that's why hockey's such a cool sport is whatever happened in that game prior. Yeah, there's a little bit of carryover, but for the most part, it's, wipe the slates clean and start over from scratch. And this game, yes, we lost. A lot of you fans freaked the hell out. No, it's the end of the world. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, we lost with Stone. Oh, blah, 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 blah. All that same crap. It forced the Bugeyeguy guy to be like, I'm going to stay positive, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I'm going to do the podcast tomorrow, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow because I'm over it. If this would have been this time last season, man, I was so into the Golden Knights, and I was so excited like everybody else was. I'd be commenting on everything, and then I realized quickly, like, I talked about it in last week's episode. We've got Golden Knights fans, and then we got Vegas Golden Knights hockey fans. Like, it is a difference. There's a difference between a hockey fan that really understands and watches the sport and watches the game for the game. The guy like me that'll be watching the NHL Network, and I don't care what game's on. I'm just kind of watching hockey. And then you got the Vegas Golden Knights fans, the ones that freak out, the ones that all they know is winning, the ones that, I got a cool jersey and I got Vegas Golden Knights hat, so I'm a Vegas Golden Knights fan because Vegas Golden Knights are awesome because they're from Vegas and I am from Vegas. Yes, we have those fans, and I'm okay with those fans. But those are the fans that freak out every single time we lose. Or every single time Subban plays. Oh, Subban plays. Oh. But when Subban wins, it's like, all of a sudden, everyone's on the Subs train. It's like, dude, our fans. I love some of you guys, and I can't stand some of you guys. But you're all Vegas Golden Knights fans, so I guess I've got to be a little bit better. I don't know. All right, here is the 3 goals from the Vegas Golden Knights against the Calgary Flames. Take a quick listen to the audio from the 3 goals.
And move it towards Tuck. Brody wrote that up. Now Tuck centered it. Perry scores! On a bang-bang play. Alex Tuck to Brandon Perry. And the Golden Knights have cut the Calgary lead in half. Is Theodore with the lead pass to Carlson. He has Smith with him. Carlson now to Smith. Backhand score! And just like that, 21 seconds into the second period, the Golden Knights have made it a 1-goal game. Pacioretty, he'll direct it to Stastny as they work the give and go. Stastny to the net, centered it, and Stone scores! Mark Stone buries it, and the Golden Knights have scored twice in the opening 1:20 of the second to tie the game.
Took a look. Now, Matthew Tkachuk did get the final empty net goal in this game, and this pisses me off because all the crap that he was doing with Fleury last Wednesday, but he ends up getting a hat trick, and the fans throw all their stupid hats on the ice because he got his first ever hat trick against our Vegas Golden Knights, and it kind of pissed me off. But now, for you guys that don't know how I get my audio, usually what I do is I search the internet to find interviews from the players, and then I capture the audio and add it to the podcast. Well, it was kind of hard for me to track down this audio, so I ended up having to go record it from the game from my DirecTV. Because Malcolm Subban did give an interview on AT&T Sports Network after the game last night, but I can't find it on Facebook, Twitter, or VegasGoldenKnights.com. I can't find it anywhere. So probably because it was kind of negative, but he feels he got hosed. He got a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. I think it's only fair that you, the Vegas Golden Knights fans and fans of the Night Nation podcast, get to hear what Malcolm Subban had to say, right? Well, here he is.
I don't know, it's a new building. It's a little different than our building, so, yeah.
I guess what were you so upset about on that Michael Backlund interference?
I don't think it's a goal. He takes my hand, moves it from here to here. I don't know what else you want me to do there, so I don't think that's a goal.
What did the referee say to you? Any explanation at all?
No.
Look at this game and the way Calgary plays on home ice. They score a lot of goals in this building. What was the game plan going in? And I guess, what did you not like about the first period?
Well, obviously it came out slow. The second goal just can't go in. That's not a great goal to give up, obviously. So, put ourselves in a hole. But we came back in the second period, and tied it up and had a good game going on. And yeah, stuff happens, I guess.
Can I get your take on the goal at the end of the second? And obviously, you were very angry with the official after that one.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's a goal. Obviously, they thought otherwise, but I don't know. It's tough. It's a game-winning goal, so that's frustrating. Obviously, they scored 6 goals, so it's not the reason we lost, but it's definitely a big goal for them.
So obviously, Subs is a little frustrated, and I don't blame him. I mean, he admitted it. He let in some garbage, and he admitted he had a good game. He had a great save against Johnny Hockey. Johnny Gaudreau, it was a highlight save. I mean, it was a beautiful snap glove. I mean, it was a nice save. And he does make great saves, but he also lets in some garbage. And you would think Coach Gallant after this game would be kind of negative and down and frustrated. He actually wasn't. I mean, it was probably because he was wearing his lucky blue suit. And unfortunately, he didn't win in the blue suit. But hey, you can't win every game in the blue suit. Here's what Coach Turk had to say following the tough loss to the Flames.
The game, we have a good start, and we didn't, so that's what basically cost us the game at the end of the day. We had a real good second period, played real strong, and battled back and got close to the hockey game, and like I said, we lost it in the first period.
And Malcolm fought back, and he did make a bunch of good saves when it was 3-3, but hard for him when he gets behind it early.
Yeah, we were behind early, like you said. The early 2 goals put us behind, and we started chasing from there on in. But no, he made some key saves at key times when it was 3-3, and kept us in that game. And we just give them too many good chances. The 2-on-1s, he's not going to make those saves, and that was the end of. Basically, that was the end of the game.
He was visibly upset on that interference call. What did you think of that play?
You know what? The referees have a tough time with those calls, and for me, it's the right call. It was, when I made the call, I said, I think this can go either way. It was a close call. He definitely hit his glove, but was it out of the crease a little bit? Probably was. So I think the referees made the call, but it's tough when he doesn't play a whole lot, and he was upset. So.
At the end of the day, you did battle back the tie break before that. Was that goal maybe the backbreaker for your team?
What goal?
The 4th goal when 20 seconds left in the second period.
It was a big goal, obviously, late in the period like that, and it was almost, the PK was almost done, so it was definitely a big goal for them, for sure. But we weren't quitting then. I mean, it was 1 goal coming back. We had a good second period. I thought we played them, for 13 minutes of the second, and then they started playing better at the tail end of the second.
All right, so honestly, finishing off the week 2-1, beating the first-place Pacific Division Flames, beating the Vancouver Canucks, another Pacific Division rival, and then losing to the Flames, sure, that kind of sucks. But 2-1's not bad. 4 out of 6 points, we'll take it all day of the week. What do we got next week? Well, next week only has 2 games. I'm briefly going to talk about the third because it's a back-to-back, but let's take a quick listen to
What's on Tap? A ridiculously fast preview of next week's Vegas Golden Knights games.
What's on tap? Well, it's simple. Friday the 15th of March at Dallas. And this one kind of hurts because the Bug-Eye Guy had plans to go to Dallas to watch this game. Unfortunately, my kids had a lacrosse schedule and couldn't make it, but my buddy Randy's going. So, Randy, have fun in Dallas, repping the Vegas Golden Knights. You'll be rocking my Marchie jersey that I let you borrow, so kudos to that. Any other Vegas Golden Knights fans? You know what? Chris Burleson, he lives in Corpus Christi. He follows me on all the social media. He's going to his Vegas Golden Knights first game of the season up and down. Since he lives in Corpus Christi, it's like a 6-hour drive or a plane. I don't know how he's getting there, but the bottom line, he's going to the game. So Randy and Chris, both of you guys have a great time. Hopefully our Vegas Golden Knights kick butt and become victorious up in Dallas. And if not, I hope you guys have a good time at the game. So we're taking on Dallas. Now, let's see here. We've played the Dallas Stars. Let's see. We beat them 4-2 back on December 9th. And on February 26th, 4-1 victory in the first ever Vegas Golden Knights game to feature Mark Stone. Yeah, you guys remember that game, right? And honestly, the first goal was BS. It should have been goalie interference, but we always talk about that. The Stars are a team that has some very, very, very talented players and can be dangerous on a nightly basis. Their goalie, Ben Bishop, has been playing really, really good hockey, and he's one of those larger fella goalies. Their offensive talented players like Sagan, Radulov, Jamie Benn, Spiza, they're a tough team. Now, they picked up Zuccarello at the trade deadline. He's still injured, so he won't be in this game, but this is a game that the Vegas Golden Knights stick to the game plan, play smart night hockey. They should pick up 2 points. Now, after the matchup with the Dallas Stars, our Vegas Golden Knights head to the airport, come back home to Las Vegas to take on the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers are having what can only be described as an up-and-down tough kind of season. They're on their second coach, and they've got talented stupid stars. You think the Bug-Eye Guy could speak? How about superstars like Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, stupid Milan Lucic? Dude, they can't stay consistent. That's their problem. They're really good players, play really good hockey, and then the rest of their team kind of is mediocre at best. They had Cam Talbot as their goalie. They shipped him off at the trade deadline because their Chiarelli, their former general manager, decided to sign Koskinen, a backup goalie, to $4.5 million, and then quickly realized, dude, we have to play this guy because we're paying him $4.5 million. Now, the Oilers are currently 30-31-7, sitting in 5th place in the Pacific Division. They've been playing better of late. Their last 10, they're 6-2-2. The Golden Knights, they need to keep the Edmonton superstars in check. If they can keep McDavid and Draisaitl in check and they play a fast, physical game, Reeves might have a little bit of fun in this game. There's some players on the other side that might want to stir the pot a little bit with Ryan Reeves. So this could be a fun, exciting game. This could be a blowout loss for the Golden Knights. This could be a blowout loss for the Edmonton Oilers. Either way, it's back home in the Fortress. Oh, and by the way, it's on St. Patrick's Day. So everyone will be wearing the green in the Fortress, and they'll be having a good time. I know, I know. Shame on me, right? That's a terrible, I know, I don't sound like a leprechaun. What am I, a magic leprechaun? Yeah, I know. Shame. Shame on the Bug-Eye Guy, I get it. But it's on St. Patrick's Day against the Edmonton Oilers. Now, I said that was it because technically I'll do my podcast Monday night. Ooh, that's going to, oh, man. All right, next week's schedule is going to suck because I don't know if I'm going to do it on Sunday after the Edmonton game because Monday we play the San Jose Sharks. I'm going to have to figure out. Just be on the lookout for next week's episode. Maybe if I get a lot of the work done, I can do it after Edmonton. Either way, so we play after the Edmonton Oilers. We get on an airplane. We get to head on up to San Jose and take on the San Jose Sharks. You know, the second place or first place, depending on what day of the week it is. And they're playing good hockey, 5 in a row as of this recording. And we get to play them after playing the Edmonton Oilers on a back-to-back. And later in the season, guess what? We get to play the San Jose Sharks on the second night of a back-to-back. I don't know. All right, that wraps up What's on Tap. I normally would go to Numbers Don't Lie, but I'm going to flip-flop this week real quick. So instead of doing Numbers Don't Lie after What's on Tap, you're going to get a little bit of...
And now, the good, the bad, and the ugly from last week's games.
Yeah, I figured I'd do the good, bad, and ugly because that's what we just talked about. We just talked about last week's games, so I might as well take the information from last week's games and then determine what qualifies for the good, bad, and ugly. And right off the bat, the good, I'm going to go with the defensive game for the Vegas Golden Knights and Marc Andre Fleury. Marc Andre Fleury's been playing really, really good. The defense, for the most part, has been playing really, really good. They've been better on the penalty kill. They've been playing better. It's almost like they're communicating better. They're talking to each other. They're helping getting the dump ins, dump outs. Just overall, I think they're playing good. Now, there were a couple breakdowns in the Flames game last night, but some of those were because the defense was trying to push it and then got caught. I know those suck. I know a couple of them were bad. They were tired, and I know that's not an excuse, but I don't care. This is my podcast. This is my segment, and I choose for the good Marc Andre Fleury and his performance as goalie for the Vegas Golden Knights and the team defense. Now the bad. The bad is going to probably piss off some of you Golden Knights fans, and that's fine, but my bad is Brandon Pirri. Now, what exactly has Brandon Pirri been doing? Remember earlier in the season, and it was all about Pirri, because every time Pirri came in, Pirri scored goals because Pirri was playing on the first line and the second line, and he was playing with top-tier guys, and then he was producing. But Pirri's either a healthy scratch or he's a ghost out there, or in the game last night against the Flames, Brandon Pirri scored a goal. Sure did. It was a nice setup by Alex Tuch. It was a beautiful pass by Alex Tuch and a nice snipe by Pirri. But my argument has always been Pirri on defense. I just don't see him as a 200-foot player. He's like a James Neal. He's a sniper, but he doesn't. I know he tries, but there was a couple plays last night against the Flames in particular where he straight up had the puck, lost it, turnover. And one in particular immediately led to a 2-on-1 going the other way. I would much rather have Thomas Nosek in the lineup than Brandon Pirri. Now, I know Pirri scores more. Pirri's more offensive. But Nosek is a smart player and a hell of a penalty killer. He plays the 200-foot game. I know he doesn't score a lot, but all the other hockey knowledge that you get from him and the tough physical play as far as penalty kills especially, I like him. Now, we're going to have a problem coming up here real soon. When Carrier comes back, where's Carrier go? The VGKguy would like to see the first and the second line stay alone. The third line, this is my ideal setup, and it'll probably piss some of you guys off, but I'm not Team Pirri, so I'm not sold on the guy. I would like to see Alex Tuch with Cody Eakin and Ryan Carpenter. Now, the fourth line, of course, will be William Carrier, Ryan Reeves, and Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. At the beginning of the season and at times later in the season, when Belly is with Reeves and Carrier, there's something special about that line. And I know they're physical and I know they hit a lot, but there's also some tough forecheck and you usually get a lot of energy from Belly. You always get energy from Belly. And when Carrier is on the ice, he brings that extra spark. And then you got the brute force of Reeves coming in behind. It just makes that line gel. So you can't really mess with that line, which leaves Brandon Pirri, Nosek, or Carpenter for the final spot on the team. The other two are going to have to be healthy scratches. I want it to be consistent. I know they can rotate players in depending on matchups and who they're playing, but if you want someone like Carpenter to really get better, he needs to play consistent time on the ice. So I would choose of the three Carpenter. I know a lot of you guys would probably want Brandon Pirri, and rightfully so. He does have 11 goals this season, and he has been playing good, but okay, the VGKguy, I'm not sold on him. I would rather have Carpenter. Nosek, I like Nosek too because of the penalty killing. The only drawback to Nosek, well, there's two. One, you never hear him talk, and that's maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I mean, I've seen like 5 interviews ever with him. And two, he always seems to be on his ass. Whenever he's fighting for it along the boards, he usually ends up on his ass. Now, I don't know if that's just because he's tall and skinny, but I like him as a player. I like his hockey knowledge. But again, my podcast, my segment, I feel that it should be Eakin, Tuch, and Carpenter with Carrier, Bellemare, and Reeves on the third and fourth line. I like that. If you guys don't like that, hit me up on social media. Go, Bug-Eyed Guy, man, I can't believe you picked Carpenter over Peary. Peary's awesome, or Nosic's awesome. Why would you pick Carpenter? I'm like, dude, because Carpenter's cool, man. He's a tough player. He plays night hockey. He plays it the right way. He doesn't take a lot of stupid penalties. He's good on the penalty kill as well. Every once in a while, he gets rewarded with a goal. He's just a solid dude, and solid dudes deserve a spot on the Vegas Golden Knights, in my opinion. All right, we're going to go through the segment that you guys love so much, but I'm going to go kind of fast because this podcast is going kind of long, so here's your favorite segment.
Get ready for Numbers Don't Lie, the segment of the podcast where your host is about to bore you with player and team stats that you probably won't remember.
All right, numbers don't lie. We're going to talk about, the Calgary Flames. Calgary Flames at Vegas. Fleury ended up having, 33 saves, let in 1 goal, 9.71 save percentage. He beat Riddick. Shea Theodore and Derek Englund both scored. Hamonic for the Calgary Flames scored. Here's the deal. Face-offs, Calgary beat us 54% to 46%, 34 to 29. That's pretty close. That's pretty good. We held them 0-3 on the power play. Hits were almost even. Vegas with the slight edge at 27 to 26. And the shots on goal were 38 to 34 in favor of the Vegas Golden Knights. So that game was a very evenly matched game. It could have gone either way. It reminded me like a playoff game, as it should have. All right, Saturday night against the Vancouver Canucks. Yep, Jacob Markstrom, poor dude, .688 save percentage, 5 goals allowed and 11 saves. Not a good night. He ended up getting chased. Let's see, Mark Stone got a goal in the first period, followed by Alex Tuck, and then Cody Eakin. Then Brock Besser made it a 3-1 game. And then Thomas Nosek scored, and then Paul Stastny scored. And in the second period, to make it 5-2, Bo Horvat got his 24th of the season. And then Nate Schmitty with his 9th goal at 4:56 in the second period. And then the third period was kind of a dud. Vegas Golden Knights 27 to 26. They slight edge on the faceoffs. Both teams didn't score on the power play. The hits, the Vancouver Canucks really out-hit the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, this is a shocker. 34 hits for the Canucks, 15 for the Vegas Golden Knights. But we were up 5-1 and then 5-2 and then 6-2. So Vegas wasn't really throwing the body because they were dominating the game. 3 stars of the game was Mark Stone, Alex Tuck, and Colin Miller. Colin Miller had no goals, 2 assists. And then, of course, our most recent game against the Calgary Flames. Subban had a .853 save percentage. He had 29 saves on 34 shot attempts. Mangiapane, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sure you guys heard it last night. They kept saying it a bunch of time. Mangiapane, he scored. Backlund scored. Then Peary made it 2-1. Then stupid Tkachuk made it 3-1. Then in the second period, it was Riley Smith to make it 3-2 with his 14th of the year. Mark Stone got his second goal as Vegas Golden Knight, tie up the game 3-3, his 30th of the year. Yes, we have a 30-goal scorer on the Vegas Golden Knights. Unfortunately, 28 of them did not come wearing a Golden Knight jersey, but either way, on the stats, he's a 30-goal scorer for the Vegas Golden Knights. And then, of course, Backlund scored on a goalie interference call for his 19th. And then Tkachuk, 28th and 29th of the year. Yep, Matthew Tkachuk has 29 goals this year. Face-offs, 33-31 in favor of Calgary. They were 1 for 2 on the power play. Merrill took a dumb penalty. We were 0-2, which means our power play still sucks. We still need to figure that out. Hits, we had more with 19-13, which means it wasn't a very physical game. And then they outshot the Golden Knights 35-28. All right, my favorite stat is always to talk about the hits. And as of right now, Ryan Reeves has played 69 games. He has 268 hits. William Carrier has played 48 games, 247 hits. Now, hopefully Carrier comes back soon because third place is Krause for Arizona at 234. Fourth is Tanev up in Winnipeg, and then Cedric Paquette for Tampa Bay rounds out the top 5. Tanev with 232, Paquette with 229. Milan Lucic, he's kind of backed off a little bit too. He's at 226. So Carrier and Reeves, you're still 1 and 2. Hopefully Carrier gets healthy and gets back in the lineup to start adding up to this total. But it's still cool to see the Vegas Golden Knights 1-2, especially the fact that Carrier has played like almost 20 games less than the guys right behind him, and he's still ahead of them. It's incredible. All right, as I said it earlier, Mark Stone is sitting at 30 goals, 37 assists for 67 points for the Vegas Golden Knights. In second place is Alex Tuck with 48 points. Marchie's got 47 with 20 goals and 27 assists. Wild Bill, 44 points, 19 goals, 25 assists. Now, that's nowhere near where he was last year, and there's been a lot of people talking about contract extension for Wild Bill, and is he going to ask for a lot of money? I mean, 44 points, 19 goals, and 25 assists. That's not really $7-8 million a year money. That's like $5.5-6 million a year money. But that'll be an interesting story for the offseason. We don't need to worry about that now. We need to worry about finishing the season and the playoffs. Riley Smith's been kind of on a tear of late. 42 points, 14 goals, 28 assists. And let's pick one more. Let's pick Cody Eakin. 35 points, 17 goals for Cody Eakin. How cool is that? And 18 assists. I really like Cody Eakin. I think he's a solid player for the Vegas Golden Knights, and he brings that little extra tenacity, that little extra spark out there on the third line. And him and Tuck, man, maybe that can be the future. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. All right, this week we're not going to talk about the Chicago Wolves only because this podcast is going too long. All about the time, folks. You got Chicago last week. This week you don't get Chicago. All right, the final stat we're going to talk about is the playoffs. So the Pacific Division as we sit right now. Calgary's in first at 91 points. San Jose is right behind them at 90, but Calgary has a game at hand. And then Vegas is sitting at 81. Arizona's behind us at 73. Now, they've 2 games behind us, so theoretically they could be at 77. So we're 4 points to the good against the Arizona Coyotes. So something we got to keep an eye on, but as long as we keep playing night hockey and keep doing what we're supposed to do, we're going to be fine. What you need to be focused on is San Jose and Calgary. Now, the Bugeyeguy guy wants Calgary to finish second. I do not want to play San Jose in the first round. Am I afraid of San Jose? No. But I would rather play San Jose in the second round. Calgary can be beat. Calgary, we can get into their head. Calgary can be beat. Well, the first thing is you got to play Marc Andre Fleury because Fleury wins against Calgary and Subs unfortunately doesn't. So keep an eye out for that. There's still plenty of time. I would imagine those two teams will flip-flop quite a bit for the remainder of the season. Is there a chance that we catch them? I would say probably not. We would need a lot of things to fall in our favor and a lot of things for them to not. And honestly, if you're not going to get first, I mean, yeah, I guess you want to get to second place to get home ice in the first round. But the way it looks right now, and if you look at the numbers, I mean, probably not. And just think what would have happened if we would have played night hockey from the beginning of the season. If we had Nate Schmidt for the first 20 games of the season, I mean, all those games that we lost that were real close, these are like you look forward now. And I've said it in podcasts probably like 7 or 8 episodes ago. I'm like, man, this game we lost, this is a tough one because it doesn't really matter right now. But at the end of the season, we're going to really wish we got this extra point. We're going to really wish we got these 2 points. I've talked about it a lot. And I can't pick out a specific game other than it's happened quite a bit. But now, towards the end of the season, you're like, damn, we're only like 8-10 points back. If we had those 2 or 4 extra points, we'd be in a better spot. So keep an eye out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I'm telling you right now, for you Vegas Golden Knights fans, not Vegas Golden Knights hockey fans, for you just Golden Knights fans, if you want to really enjoy the game of hockey, you need to watch whatever's on TV on NBCSN or NHL Network for the rest of the season. Because they're going to show like Columbus, who's fighting for a playoff spot. And they're going to show Carolina, who's fighting for a playoff spot. You're going to see some really good hockey. It's almost like playoff hockey because for some of these teams, it is playoff hockey because if they don't win, they don't make the playoffs. So if you want to really enjoy hockey as the game, watch over the next month. We're going to be watching because we're going to want to know if Arizona won or lost. We're going to want to know if San Jose or Calgary won or lost, as we should as Golden Knights fans. But if you just want to enjoy the game, watch it. I'm telling you, this is the best time of year to be a hockey fan. All right, two more segments, and then this episode's done. Let's dive right into...
It's time for Funny Shit Fans Say.
Not a single person will get credit for this week's Funny Shit Fans Say. Anybody that posted something negative about Malcolm Subban, anybody that freaked out because the Golden Knights lost a single game, your post were funny. Honestly, my rant topic could have been the Funny Shit Fans Say, so I'm going to dive right in now to my favorite portion of every episode. I hope you guys enjoy it too, because this is where you really get to feel and understand the mindset that is the VGK BugeyeGuy.
What the puck? Seriously, what the puck?
All right, I didn't really know how I was going to do what the puck this week, because that's usually my problem towards the end of the week, as I've pretty much got my script dialed in for the podcast. I've got all my bullet points of what I want to cover, what I want to discuss, and the big thing is making notes so that I don't forget to leave a spot to add the external audio. So that's kind of important. But this week I was thinking, man, what am I going to do? Am I going to be positive? Am I going to be negative? I mean, I'm trying to be the power of positivity because we came off a loss, even though we're playing really, really good hockey. And then a gentleman posted on Facebook, and it was like the greatest post for so many wrong reasons. I mean, he just goes off on a rant, but he's so misguided that I'm like, you know what? And then what the best part is Vegas Knights Nation podcast Facebook group thing. Their moderator refused to take the post down. In fact, he posted, his name's Benny, and I've messaged him on social media, and nice guy. But Benny posted no, quit commenting to me, quit messaging me. I'm leaving his post up. It's epic, and you need to just roast him. So he won't refuse. He refuses to take the post down. And so I was thinking, well, what can I do? As the Bugeyeguy, I need a topic for the rant. Why not just read and kind of comment on this guy's post? And I'm thinking, you know what? He put it out there on social media, so it's available for anybody. So why not? Now, I'm not going to mention this guy's name other than there was this Freddy movie with the guy with the fingers. So this guy, similar name towards that Freddy feller from those scary movies back in the 80s and 90s. But anyways, he has two posts. So I'm going to read the first one, and as I read it, I might pause for a second and tell you how I really feel, because I could have written a comment like the 400 other Vegas Golden Knights fans that did, but I have a podcast, and you guys probably don't want to just read what I have to say. You want to hear the expression in my voice as I say it. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into this gentleman's Facebook post, and then we're going to talk about it. It starts off, so for every VGK fan who ripped me for criticizing Subban, this is exactly what I was talking about. Subban is a backup, all capital letters, for a reason, exclamation point. He's been great at home, but has stunk on the road for over a year now. All right, dude, but he's a backup. We're not arguing the fact that he's a backup. And for all those fans who brought up Fleury's wife's pregnancy as the reason to sit Fleury tonight, that makes no sense. Capital letters, no sense. So the pregnancy was not an issue last night versus Vancouver, but it's an issue tonight versus Calgary? Really? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Well, yeah, dude, because after the Vancouver game, somebody must have made a phone call, because all of a sudden they got on the phone with Chicago and recalled Lagace as emergency backup. Now, fast forward, maybe it was just gas or indigestion. I have no idea. But they're like, no, never mind. Everything's okay. So then Fleury was like, well, then I'll be the backup. And this guy has no plan. He's not George McPhee. He's not Coach Turk. Maybe the plan all along was to have Fleury play against Vancouver and sit versus Calgary. Let's see what this guy. VGK has the next 4 nights off. The doctors could have easily delayed the birth a few hours, and Fleury could have still played and been there for the birth. Now, this portion of the comment is why I chose not to write a comment in the first place. Because this guy is a straight-up asshole. Like, nobody gives two fucks about a non-playoff hockey game. Honestly, nobody gives two fucks about a hockey game when your wife is going to go through a traumatic experience of giving birth, unless if you are physically unable to be at your wife's side when the baby's being born, then by all means. But this guy clearly thought that the Golden Knights non-playoff meaning game, and he just played the night before, he should play a back-to-back. You're an idiot. I stand by what I originally posted. Subban should have started last night versus the terrible Canucks and Fleury tonight versus Calgary. The pregnancy should not have influenced that decision at all. Exclamation. Really? Fleury played last night, for God's sake. His wife couldn't have suddenly gone into labor during last night's game. Oh my God. This guy, sir, you are a ginormous tool bag. A ginormous tool bag. And in fact, I'm going to read the first post because this one is way longer, and I hope you guys enjoy this. If not, I don't care. It's my rant, and this guy is a ginormous tool bag. The stuff he said, no wonder he got hundreds and hundreds of comments because he said some dumb shit. Let's continue on. Worst coaching decision Gallant has made in these 2 seasons. Exclamation mark. I don't think it's the worst. I mean, he played Brandon Leipzig in a bunch of games. To me, that's worse, but okay. I said it yesterday. I said it earlier today, and I'll keep on saying it. Dun, dun, dun. Like, what are you going to say, dude? He says, you start the backup goalie against the bad teams, not the top 3 teams in the NHL. Well, I know Calgary's up there in points, but I'm not afraid to play Subban against the Flames. I mean, I don't know where he's going with this. Subban should have started yesterday versus Vancouver, and Fleury should have started tonight, period. But, like, not an actual period. He just says, like, period. But it's capital P for period, but there is no actual period after the sentence. I don't know. So, Fleury should have started, period. I don't know why. Why does he think that? I mean, Fleury just played against the Flames. Why should Fleury have to play back-to-back games against the Flames? I don't understand that. Let's continue on. NBA stars don't miss games against the best teams. They sit out versus the Knicks, the Cavs, the Suns. I don't know. I don't watch that basketball game. Are the Knicks, Cavs, and Suns bad? I don't know. But Harden, Westbrook, LeBron, etc., those must be some basketball players. I know who they are. I'm just joking. Are never healthy scratches against the top teams. I don't think that has to do with the teams. I think that has to do with the TV ratings because usually when those teams play each other with superstar and superstar, they're on the TV. They're on the the ESPN or the Fox Sports or the ABC. So I don't know about that, but either way, this is different. This is Fleury getting rest. He's not going to play every game. He's played more games than any goaltender in the NHL. He has more wins this season than any goaltender in the NHL. He has more shutouts this season than any goaltender in the NHL. So, Guy, your argument don't mean squat. Oh, then listen to this. Fleury should not have been sitting on the bench twiddling his thumbs tonight. Well, what did you want him to do? Crochet a blanket? I mean, I don't understand. What are goalies supposed to do when they're not playing? They watch the game. They interact with the teammates. I mean, well, he's not allowed to twiddle his thumbs. Maybe his thumbs wanted a little twiddling, sir. Who are you to judge Marc Andre Fleury? If Fleury wants to twiddle his thumbs, then by gosh, twiddle away, Flower. Twiddle, twiddle, twiddle away. A ridiculous coaching decision that probably cost VGK any chance of catching Calgary in the standings. True, it is a 4-point swing. 2 points for them, 2 points not for us. I get that. But playing Fleury against Vancouver and Subban's an NHL goalie. He's an NHL caliber goalie. Yes, he's our backup, but I don't agree with that statement either. I mean, it's already going to be pretty tough to catch San Jose and Calgary. and not playing Marc Andre Fleury for one game. Like, what happens, Guy, if, say, Fleury after the Vancouver game had some delicious tacos? Now, maybe he was craving some tacos, and there's some place up there in Canada that's got some delicious tacos, and Fleury's like, dude, I got to get some tacos. Now, fast forward a couple hours before the game, what happens if those delicious tacos somehow cause explosive diarrhea for the Flower? Now, Flower can't play because he's got this explosive diarrhea. Like, are you going to blame him that he should never eat tacos ever again because he happened to get explosive diarrhea from one taco or a couple tacos? No, you don't know what's going to happen. Coach made the decision. Dave Pryor, the goalie coach, he made the decision. They says, look, we're going to give Flower some time off. Gallant even said it right after the trade deadline. He says there's a good chance that all these back-to-backs we got coming up, Flower's not playing back-to-back. It's too late in the season. He's played too many games. So VGK, any chance of catching Calgary in the standings? That's a bullshit statement. All right, what else does he got? And for all you Subban apologists, let me ask you a question. How many games did Subban start in last year's playoffs? Answer, 0, all in capital letters. Well, dude, no shit. Nobody plays their backup goalie in the playoffs. Are you new to hockey? I'm not. That's why you give him rest in the regular season. That's exactly why Coach Turk did what he did last night, you dumbass. If he's so good and deserves all these biased, ill-informed fans defending him to the death, then why won't he start any playoff games? Same thing will happen this year because Fleury is better, period. Dude, you are a ginormous tool bag. Here's the problem, sir. The problem is simple. Fleury is the starting goalie. Thus, Fleury will start the playoff games. Subban is the backup goalie. Subban will not start the playoff games. I'm not defending him to death. We let the backup play, and the backup got smoked. So what? It's just one game. It's not the end of the world. You, sir, freak out because Subban started a game. What if Subban won the game 6-2? Would you be running your fucking mouth on Facebook? No, probably not. And you wouldn't be getting roasted by fellow fans like me that are thinking the same shit that I'm saying. Like, dude, seriously? Dumbass. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why Subban is the backup. He's good enough to be an NHL backup, but not good enough to supplant Fleury as the starter. Dude, you just answered your own question. He's the backup. He's giving the starter, thus Fleury, the night off, a break. How much more do you want? And shouldn't have supplanted him as the starter tonight. I'm a true believer that Fleury would not have given up 5 goals tonight. If Fleury started, there's a good chance they either win or it's a 1-goal loss, like 4-3. Well, unless if you have a magic crystal ball, we would never know the answer to that. And that's stupid. You have no idea. Some of those 2-on-1s, Fleury probably wouldn't have stopped those either. And you're not a genius. You're not a mind reader. You can't read the future. You don't have a Marty McFly time machine, a DeLorean to go back in time and find out. So, no. This is another stupid statement that is based on emotion and 0 facts. You have no idea what the score would have been. Yes, I will give you that one from the blue line. Fleury probably would have stopped that one. But all the other ones, you don't know that. And that one save by Subban on Johnny Hockey Gaudreau where he sniped that glove, there's a good chance Fleury might have missed that one and that one would have gotten in. So that whole portion of your comment is hot garbage. Moving on. And if the impending birth of his child was so, with a whole bunch of O's, important as to keep Fleury from starting tonight, then why did he start last night? Well, dude, we already talked about this because they didn't get the call till after the Vancouver game, you dumbass. Why did he fly away with the team at all? VGK has Dance, Lagace, and others to fill in. Why was Fleury on the bench as a spectator? Dude, we already talked about this. No good answer to that. Well, no, I gave you a pretty good answer earlier, and you're not a doctor, and you're not part of the team, and you don't have all the inside information, and you're an ill-informed fan running his mouth on Facebook, and you deserve a big, giant Finally, he ends it up with if the because they're all jumbled together. But I think what he's trying to say is if the wife's pregnancy was such an issue as to keep out of tonight's game, then go home. Fly home and be with your wife. If not, then play. Well, I've been really good through this whole, that's it. That's all of it. I've been really good, right? I haven't mentioned this gentleman's name because honestly, he doesn't deserve the credit on my podcast. But some of the stuff he said was straight up ill-informed garbage. Like seriously, General Manager George McPhee put this team together for a reason. Coach Turk coaches this team a specific way. He's got assistant coaches. He's got goaltender coaches. He relies a lot on his coaching staff to tell him. They also talk to, this might blow your mind, sir, but I'm pretty sure they went to Fleury and go, hey, Fleury, like, we're only going to play you one of the games this weekend. And he's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, Subban probably needs some time. I'm sure that's exactly how it went. So for this guy to just run his mouth and coach is an idiot, worst coaching decision ever, and it's not just this guy. A lot of people freaked out after we lost against Calgary. A lot of people freak out whenever we lose a game. But in this game in particular, a lot of people freaked out because, it's easy to blame Malcolm. Oh, Subban let in a couple garbage goals. It's easy to pick on Subs. And this guy sends this, paragraphs and paragraphs, this rant. And then he got bombarded by fellow Golden Knights fans pretty much calling him out, calling his bullshit. This is my dilemma, folks. This is why I love doing the podcast, because I'm able to give you my point of view. Now, some of you guys love it. Some of you guys hate it. That's okay. You don't have to agree with everything I say. In fact, healthy disagreements is a good thing. I mean, if I was sitting across from someone recording this, which is in my plans for the future, but if I was sitting across, we'd go back and forth. And sure, some things that I say you might agree with, some things you might not agree with. But this is my podcast. And this gentleman put it out there. He said what he was feeling. It's almost like he typed while he was on the shitter, pissed off. I'm gonna get these fans. These guys, they need to know how mad I am about Subban, and they need to know my pain. Dude, we all had to watch the game together, man. Now, sure, I was on my couch. You were probably at a bar. You were probably at your house. Everybody watched the game. Everybody watched most of the Golden Knights games. I love watching the games at the Fortress. I have season tickets because I enjoy it. Some people watch every game at a certain bar. Some people watch all the games at home. The bottom line is, it's okay to be a passionate fan. I love each and every one of you Vegas Golden Knights fans. Even this gentleman here who's upset. It's okay to be upset. Just get a little bit more ammo to your arguments. I mean, you gotta realize that I've said it throughout this episode. You're not going to win every game. Even if you do win every game, there's a good chance you might not win a game in the playoffs. You take this sport one day at a time. If you want to ride on players for not doing good, that's your prerogative. I like to pick on some of our defenders because they make bonehead decisions. But at the end of the day, this is just a game. It's just a sport. I mean, don't be so angry and so upset just because they didn't show up. They were a little bit tired. Okay, it's not an excuse, but it's almost like you knew Subban was going to play terrible. And yeah, it was 3-3 at the beginning of the second period. It was a brand new game. We had a goaltending interference call not go our way. So now we're down by 1. We had a 2-on-1 again that they put in the net because Theodore refused to lay down and try and block it. And then an empty netter. So, I mean, honestly, yeah, we lost the game. But I'm willing to go out there on this podcast right now and say these magical 2 words. You ready? So what? So what? We lost one freaking game. Big deal. We've lost a whole bunch of other games this year that meant way more than this one. We're 2-2 against Calgary. 2-2. We're 2-0 when Marc Andre Fleury's in net. We're 0-2 when Malcolm Subban's in net. If we play the Calgary Flames in round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, guess what? We're going to get Fleury. Now, I'm not saying he's going to win all the games, but we got a pretty good chance. And I'm okay with Coach Turk giving Fleury the night off, I mean, I assumed also that he would probably play against Calgary, but why? He just played them. I get it. Especially with Tkachuk and all that little garbage, and that it was probably smart to not play Fleury in that game just so there'd be no shenanigans in front of the net and maybe risk the chance that Fleury got hurt. I mean, did you guys think of that? Mr. Gentleman with your long-ass post, did you think about that? Maybe it was a smart decision to keep him away to make sure there was no drama. You save that shit for the finals. You save that shit for the playoffs, okay? All right, I've gone on way too long. Thanks so much, folks, for tuning into episode 34 of Knights Nation podcast. I really do appreciate it. And I told you guys there'd be a giveaway, right? All right, here's the deal real quick before we end this podcast. I'm going to do a giveaway this week. Here are the rules. You have to go to VGK, email VGK Victor Golf Kilo Bug Bravo Uniform Golf I Echo Yankee Echo Guy Golf Uniform Yankee at gmail.com. VGKbugeyeGuy at gmail.com. You need to send me an email. You need to let me know that you are subscribed to my podcast. You can be subscribed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel at VGKbugeyeGuy and subscribe there because I upload all the podcasts to YouTube as well. Send me an email. In the description of the email, I want it to say the magical word is fighting flower. You have to put the word fighting flower in the email description and let me know where you're subscribed to the podcast. Send the email VGKbugeyeGuy at gmail.com. In the title of the email, just say contest. And in the description, you got to use the words fighting flower. Because Marc Andre Fleury's the flower, and he almost got into a fight. So fighting flower, and let me know where you're subscribed to the podcast. What I'm going to do, the minimum, I need to get at least 25 entries. The last time I gave away tickets, I didn't get that many entries. So the minimum entries is 25. I'm going to let it run until Sunday. Next Sunday, which is, the 17th, March 17th, the Edmonton game. Right before the Edmonton game, on the 17th, I'm going to end the contest. I'm going to run it through a random generator. I'm going to get all the emails together, do a random generator. I'm just going to pick the winner. The winner, I'm going to reach out and say, hey, it's the VGK BugeyeGuy Guy. Congratulations, you won my contest. And you have the option of picking one of the 4 pucks from the beginning of the season. It's the Gallant, McPhee, Englund, or Carlson puck from their awards, their NHL awards from last season. Or you can pick a poster from any game from this season. I'll get your address. I'll mail it out to you. And then all you got to do is take a picture with your new puck or your new poster and send it to the Bugeye Guy. That's it. That's all you got to do. So if you're interested in that, it's open. Right now as you're listening to this, send me an email at VGKbugeyeGuy at gmail.com. Title it contest. Use the magic word fighting flower. And let me know where you're subscribed to the podcast. All right, that wraps up episode 34. Thanks again so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And this one's a little long, but not terrible. I'm striving. Folks, I'm trying to get it better, but when there's a lot of news or I got a rant that gets me going, it is what it is. You guys know. All right, thanks so much. Next week, it'll either be Sunday or Monday. It's one of those weird ones because we've got a game Sunday night and Monday night. I can pre-do some of the work, but some of it's going to have to be after Edmonton or before San Jose. I'm not exactly sure, but be on the lookout on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I will let you guys know where the next podcast is going to be released. Thanks again for tuning in. I love you. And as always, duh, Bugeye Guy. Go Knights, go. Ooh, yeah.
You've been listening to the Knights Nation podcast. For a full recap of this podcast or to listen to past episodes, visit knightsnation.vegas. Your host, the VGK Bugeye Guy, is available on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at VGK Bugeye Guy and at Knights Nation LV.